One of the guys at my local flying club has given me this drone to take a look at. Apparently one of the motors doesn't spin. Now this has just little brushed motors, so there's not that many possibilities as to what it could be. First I'd like to make a visual inspection and see what I can find. On the face of things it looks pretty much like brand new. However, on closer inspection, when I'm looking at the propellers, I'm not sure if it's coming out on camera there, but there's some definite scuff marks, and you can see where it's had a few rough and tumbles. Just by spinning each of the propellers, those three are okay, but when we try and spin this one, there is clearly something awry. Let's now then take a closer look at this motor and see what we can find. To take a closer look inside here, there is this protection cap over the motor, just one screw to undo. That then reveals the mechanism, and you can hopefully clearly see that the pinion gear is all over the place. I'm not sure if that is because the gear is damaged or because the motor shaft is bent. The next task then will be to remove the motor and take a look at that. It appears to me that I'm going to have to remove all of the propellers and prop guards and this top shell to get inside there to reveal the screws. We'll come back when I've done that. Finally then, I've managed to remove the top. By the way, you didn't need to remove the prop guards. The thing was held together by an insane amount of screws. I mean, seriously? Are they all necessary? And there's more. This little bunch of screws here. Now take a look at these two little guys. This is a self-tapper, and that was what was holding three of the propellers in place. The fourth one on the damaged motor side was held in by this little guy, which is a standard threaded screw, somewhere around a millimetre. It was a devil to get out because the hole was meant to accept a self-tapping screw, and this just kind of wiggled in there and didn't want to come out. The solution in my case was to get a craft knife blade and unscrew at the same time and gradually draw that out. You can possibly get a better idea by looking at this piece here. This is where the propeller screw goes in. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but on the back of this one the screw hole has actually been stripped out. Somebody has over tightened the little screw, and that's just not going to fit. I'm going to have to find another self-tapping screw slightly larger to secure that on. Moving right along then to the motor itself. This is the motor with the gear that was not turning. If we compare that to a motor that was working, you can clearly see that what has happened is that the pinion, just turning that around, I don't think it's actually cracked. It's not in terribly great condition, but that needs to be pushed back on to the same level as this, just so that the motor shaft is protruding out the top. That's why it was wibbling backwards and forwards. My idea then is simply to fit that back into place. Not sure if I'll be able to do that just by hand. No, perhaps I'll put that in a vise or get a pair of clamps on there. I'll go ahead and do that, and then I can reassemble that and see if the motor is actually working. Looking down then through my handy desk magnifier, we can see the gear is moving. It's not very smooth. I'm now of the opinion that this was a manufacturing defect. I think that little pinion gear is not running true on the motor shaft, but it should still work. I'll advise the owner of the machine to, if he's going to continue using this drone, to get that swapped out. It is quite an unusual size. Although I see the motors for sale, it's very rare for them to be sold with the pinion included. And the pinion on this little guy, I've counted the teeth and it's only 9 teeth. Normally I would expect somewhere around 11 or 13. But I'll get the propellers put back on and we'll see if the thing flies. Now we're going to try the little guy out for real. There's a little bit of a breeze coming directly towards me. It says to switch the quad on first, and we have flashing LEDs, not sure if you can see those there. Switch on the controller, and that's done a long beep. It's not armed yet though. We need to go throttle up and down. Yes, now we have all the propellers spinning, and as soon as it's armed the wind comes up even stronger. Let's see if we can take off now. It's not the most agile of drones I've ever seen. Ooh, and she's down. I couldn't get any forward movement at all there for some reason. It's a little bit better this time. There's not very much in the way of control. There is some sort of mode adjustment, if I can remember how to do it. Right. I think that is the medium sensitivity. I think it was in the low mode for total beginners. Let's try it again. Yes, that's giving us much more control. It was in the beginner type mode. Something clearly failed there. Yes, our problem has come back with the pinion. I suspect with the additional load on it, the pinion has risen up again and not engaging with the gear properly. As far as I'm concerned, that's game over. It is just a toy grade quadcopter, not really worth spending an awful lot of time on. I'll return it to the owner and advise them to either get a new motor with a new pinion or forget it altogether. Thanks for watching.